This Christmas, children have had fun choosing a Christmassy text to read to others. Their teachers have recorded them and their videos have been put together by Dorset Council to share with others over the festive period. We hope you enjoy hearing their stories. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a happy and healthy New Year. Love from all the children in Chesil schools.
The First Christmas by Marianne Swinger.
It never snows at Christmas in that dry and dusty land. Instead of freezing blizzards, there are palms and drifting sands. And years ago a stable and the most unusual star, and 3 wise men followed it by camel, not by car. While sleeping on the quiet hills, a shepherd gave a cry. He'd seen a crowd of angels in the silent scarlet sky. In the stable, ox and ass stood very still and calm, and gazed upon the baby safe and snug in Mary's arms. And Joseph, lost in shadow, faced by oil and sorrow, stood wondering that first Christmas day 2,000 years ago. The Christmas Time by Julia Donaldson.
Once upon a time I stood with brothers and sisters in a wood. The old trees told me I had grown from a tiny seed inside a cone. The whispering wind was a friend of mine. She said that I would grow and shine. I grew up tall, I grew up high. I grew until I saw the sky. Then came the day they cut me down and carried me off to a distant town. I travelled far across the sea, and now I am a Christmas tree. Here I stand in the city square. I stand and shine in the winter air. The lions keep me company, and Nelson keeps an eye on me. And people pass and stop a while. I love to see them gaze and smile. But more, yes, more than anything, I love to hear the children sing. Songs of reindeer, songs of snow, reminding me of long ago. Songs of kings who travelled far, and songs of light from a distant star. I cannot stay forever here. Another tree will come next year. But think of me when I am gone. Remember how I grew and shone. And may the children grow and shine like the Christmas pie.
Happy Christmas, everyone!
The Christmas Truce, The Place Where Peace Was Found by Hilary Robinson and Martin Impey. This is the place where peace was found.
This is the moon shining bright that lit up the place where peace was found.
These are the soldiers watching by night under the moon shining bright that lit up the place where peace was found.
Oh, and his best friend Lars.
who sang Silent Night under the stars, to enemy soldiers watching by night under the moon shining bright, that lit up the place where peace was found.
This is Ray and his best friend Ben, two of the soldiers who listened when Carl stood up with his friend Lars and sang Silent Night under the stars, to enemy soldiers watching by night, under the moon shining bright, that lit up the place where peace was found.
These are the men who held out a hand, a sign of peace in no man's land, to men like Ray and his friend Ben, two of the soldiers who listened when Carl stood up with his friend Lars and sang Silent Night under the stars, to enemy soldiers watching by night, under the moon shining bright, that lit up the place where peace was found.
These are the bells that started to chime when friends were made at Christmas time, when enemy soldiers held out a hand. A sign of peace is no man's land. Peace for men like Ray and Ben, two of the soldiers who listened when Carl stood up with his friend Lars and sang Silent Night under the stars, to enemy soldiers watching by night, under the moon shining bright, that lit up the place where peace was found.
This is the football match that was played as over the hills the evergreen swayed, to echoes the bells that started to chime, where friends were made at Christmas time, when enemy soldiers held out a hand, a sign of peace in no man's land, peace for men like Ray and Ben.
Two of the soldiers who listened when Carl stood up with his friend Lars and sang Silent Night under the stars, to enemy soldiers watching by night, under the moon shining bright, that lit up the place where peace was found. This is the dove that flew above, a symbol of enduring love, who honoured the place the match was played, as over the hills the evergreen swayed, to echoes of bells that started to chime, when friends were made at Christmas time, when enemy soldiers held out a hand, a sign of peace in no man's land.
Peace for the men like Ray and Ben, two of the soldiers who listened when Carl stood up with his friend Lars and sang Silent Night under the stars, to enemy soldiers watching by night under the moon shining bright, that lit the place where peace was found. This is the gift that the dove dropped.
This is the olive branch that was dropped on Christmas Day when fighting stopped, dropped by a dove flying above, a symbol of enduring love, who honoured the place the match was played, as over the hills a evergreen swayed.
Two echoes of bells that started to chime when friends were made at Christmas time, when enemy soldiers held out a hand, to a sign of peace in no man's land, a peace of men like Ray and Ben, two soldiers who listened when
Carl stood up with his friend Lars and sang Silent Night under the stars, to enemy soldiers watching by night, under the moon shining bright, that lit up the place that Christmas Day, where peace was found.